Thank
Yeah.
you.
Hi everyone. I'm Oliver Jumpertz, as Francesco already said. I'm a software engineer or software architect from Germany, working in finance, at least for a few months now, left. And I'm also a software engineer at FEEDHIVE, working together with Francesco, Simon Heuberg, and Simon Gromberg, and Dan Spratling from time to time, making the app even better. And I actually started programming around 21 years ago at the age of 12, which is, it still baffles me if I think about this, that I do this for 2 decades now, while actually being in the industry much less. So my father actually studied physics, and somehow, as many physicists, got into IT at some point, especially in Germany and everywhere around the world. Information technology wasn't as prominent at the time where my dad got in. So what did you do? You took mathematicians and physicists and everything you could possibly get, and trained them on those new interesting business machines called computers. And he made a pretty deep dive by actually trying out assembly himself. And so we had an assembly compiler, x86, and a book lying around back then. And I just loved computer games. I'm one of those guys that who actually started with floppy disks.
I think we should do a separate session about this, maybe a 4 hours long, if you want.
I'll just try to get over this as fast as possible, but just to give you some context. So this is where I actually began, and I always wanted to create computer games, which, spoiler, didn't work out, but at least I tried. And so I got into it, and I used many languages over the years and took information technology in school and learned to program and did all sorts of stuff, playing around with the early versions of the internet. Well, when I started, the internet was already a few years old, to be honest, but I think it was around the time where HTML4 and Ajax were prominent, and you still had old school JavaScript. The browser wars had started with the better and better JavaScript engines. And so I actually got into JavaScript, the good old-fashioned syntax before ES5. So a lot of vars and timeouts and not a lot of web APIs to play with. And this is the first time I actually talk about this publicly. When I graduated from high school, I couldn't manage to find a job or get into university because my grades just weren't that good back then. And so I had to take another route. And the first thing I learned was actually logistics. And when I worked in logistics, I built the freight management software for the company, because we always had to do overhours just to get our jobs done. And they had pretty old software back then, Unix style, basically working on the terminal, and everything was so complicated. And I built the software, and then soon after decided to quit and finally go to university. Because in Germany, even if your grades aren't that good, there's a system that gives you a small advantage if you work for some times in whatever job, and you basically you put a little more in front of the queue. And I managed to get into and failed horribly. I have to admit that.
Let's talk about failures. First of all, just let me thanks Adrian and also Simon for donations. This really is really important for content creators. So thank you. I really appreciate that. See other people, Savas, Chris has been on my channel. We have Ayush and Arvind also. Hi Arvind. Perfect. Oliver. So sorry. You were talking about your university. So let's talk about this as soon as possible, so we can change topic maybe, or I don't know. So, so yeah, I think it's important because maybe someone is watching this, and we can talk days about it's important to have a degree or not. I got
Absolutely.
a degree, did it help or not? We can stay this all day long. What's your experience with this?
Yeah, my experience with this is, as I said, I failed horribly because theory just wasn't for me. When I started, I already had a decade of programming experience, and I had actually shipped working software. I mean, it was nothing like the software I built today or I built after I actually got into IT. But I always try, both of us, we always say on Twitter that it's important, just build, do it. And it doesn't matter. And if it's not perfect, you can still improve it later. But and I was capable of writing software and implementing algorithms and solving business issues. But I have to admit that I was too stupid back then, or perhaps not mentally old enough to grasp that all those theoretical concepts do make some sense. But I just failed at it. And I soon after decided just to quit university and go another route, which in Germany is an apprenticeship. So basically you can go to school and have a job, paying job that pays a living wage at least for 3 years. And depending on where you live, you go to school either 2 weeks at once and then 2 weeks in your company working. But in my case, it was fully integrated. So I had 2 days a week I went to school. And the other time I just actually worked on projects in the traffic telematics sector. And I finished this apprenticeship in 1 year and 11 months. So I was able to finish it a little faster because of my previous experience. And then went into the industry and started to finish my degree while working. But my career just took off at some point because with all the experience I had and with people finally recognizing, and especially employers, that I was indeed capable of building, working, and problem-solving software, I postponed this degree until today. I still haven't finished. I have 1.5 semesters to go, but I just can't find the time to work on it anymore. So I plan to maybe finish it in a year or two, but it simply isn't as important as it was before, for me at least, and for all potential employers.
Yeah, for me, it doesn't count anything. Maybe it's something maybe more for you than for others. I've noticed this, that maybe, I can say this about my experience. My degree was more about me than what others think about me. But maybe it's more just you, that you have this, that you just wanted to finish something. But no, this changed nothing for me. Simon, thank you so much. This is going really crazy today. Nearby,
Right.
And I totally agree with Simon. I appreciate honesty 100% because we have all our story. So this is your story. Yeah. We have something that we like, something that we don't like, something that we would like to do this again, and something maybe we will change. I can think honestly, if I would have started working before, it would be hard for me, like going on on computer science degree. So usually, maybe people do the opposite. Usually, so they start from theory, they get bored, or they like that, of course, and then they go into practice. Maybe by having this super practical approach, which is great from my point of view, maybe it's harder also to see what really an university can give to you, because you are already working, you are already getting your hands dirty. So usually it happens the opposite. So maybe this is what you don't see a real advantage, which is probably is true.
I think it largely depends on the program you are able to take and at a certain universities. I'm pretty sure that there are universities out there that have a pretty practical approach and that constantly improve their curriculum to actually keep up with the pace of the industry we are currently in. Because we're always joking about a new JavaScript framework being released every day, but it's not only JavaScript, it's the whole industry has such a fast pace nowadays that it's hard to keep up. And so kudos to all universities that try to update their curriculum every now and then.
I understand.
And I think for me, getting a degree at such a university is still worth it, absolutely. But I also know the opposite. Universities only teaching dry and really, really dry theoretics. And what you get, especially as I'm now in the luxurious position of hiring, is a lot of junior developers or aspiring junior developers who have never, ever used even something as, and I have to be careful here, simple perhaps as NPM or in Java space Maven correctly to set up a project, to make a project that's really testable and so on. So you get a lot
sorry to interrupt you. I totally agree with this. I can say my experience in this Italian university, I'm not going to say the name, but we had this problem. For example, we had like a Java course. Maven was like a 30 minutes lesson on the, I still remember that, on the 23rd of December. So we were like 5 inside the classroom, and maybe that was the most important lesson of the whole course. Yeah, we keep getting donations. Thank you so much. I have no words. Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. Yeah, and maybe Simon is correcting us. Maybe every hour and not every day. Now we are getting into maybe a new JavaScript runtime engine every year, like Deno. So we are getting a total new whole level. Yeah, so for example, we also had this like theoretical approach. It's not wrong. Let's say nothing is wrong, but it depends on what you want to do. If you want to teach the basics, if you want to do UML diagrams, there's not wrong with that. For me, I like more and more practical approach, to be honest. So basically, I had to learn everything from scratch. So I say that I have a degree and I'm also a self-taught developer. So both of them, perfect. So let me share this. Okay, this is a great story. So for who is watching now, we have a sponsor for this live stream. I think this is the first time that I have a sponsor, and of course this must be FEEDHIVE. So I'll give this coupon now if you want to use this, and with this you should get 25% off. If we have one of the Simons here, what is this one? I don't know if I can ping this, but maybe I'll do this later. But in the meanwhile, let me also update the description. Yeah, Oliver, this is really great. I really like to know each other. So this is really great. Perfect, Simon. Okay, so I leave this another couple of minutes. Oliver, what about the title? Because the title we had like the future of the web, and I think this is a super interesting topic also for me because I like getting updated daily, as you said, but I focus maybe only on Docker. For me, it's just a lot. So it's important also to share our knowledge here. Now I'm here today. So this is really a super interesting topic. Yeah. So what do you think? What's your experience that you can share with us about this? Thank you so much in advance.
Sure. So I interestingly had a lot of time to actually see the web evolve over the years. And what I can say right now is it's a pretty fluid thing. there are no dedicated borders we have to cross, so we know, okay, we've just released a new version of the web or anything like this. And everything is still in motion, but what we know, because Tim Berners-Lee, the creator of the web initially at CERN, envisioned the next version of the web to be semantic. So just for some context for everyone watching, the web once began as just a place, a network of a few computers to share knowledge among researchers and scientists. And well, it actually grew way larger than I think even Sir Berners-Lee ever envisioned it to be, because it now spans the whole globe. And I think some time ago, the web changed for the first time, going from companies and individuals only providing information. Yeah, Chris, you're right. There was ARPA before. Absolutely.
ARPANET.
ARPANET, yeah.
Exactly.
So, but the web changed from pure information provision to a web of creators, which is why Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and whatever the social network is, and I think it already began with MySpace. The web slowly evolved into actually you provide the platform and the users create the content. And this is largely what Web 2.0 nowadays is. And we're still not at the end, because, I mean, we see how many features for the creator economy are released each and every day for all the huge social networks we have, and they all, or nearly all, have a creators fund nowadays. And so we're not even finished with Web 2.0, but I think Web 3.0 won't be that different, because we already see a lot of what I personally think will make it up nowadays. And this is the rise of machine learning and the semantic web becoming more and more important to actually understand users. I wrote a thread on this some time ago, and I have to admit, I took an example that I read somewhere some time ago, but semantics are interesting, because I love JavaScript, and I do, and I heart JavaScript. Both the same semantics, but a machine can distinguish those two, because it's not the same words. And I think this is a pretty important example to show that the web will, in my opinion, move towards being able to understand such small nuances. And this will lead to content being tailored more towards the users. And I know we all don't like that our data is used to provide tailored ads to us. But if we take this concept and combine it together with content, with real content, and not just some advertisements, but real content is something that really interests us and we want to see, then I think this is pretty awesome, because it might be a way better version of Google. Because how do you search nowadays? You go to Google, you type in a search string, and you hope that the algorithm is intelligent enough to showcase you the results, of which one might or might not help you with whatever you do. But if all platforms are capable of showing to us what we really need right from the beginning, and this is information that really helps us, I think that's perfect. And semantics are only one part of the future of the web, in my opinion, because there will be so much more, like decentralization, moving away from large social networks owning your data to an absolutely distributed system where voices can't be silenced anymore, for example. And this is just the most prominent example you can give, because it's such a huge issue in our society nowadays. There are people who can't be heard. And this is also something I think the web will definitely move towards too. And other than that, well, integrated augmented reality will also be a huge part. until VR, but this is far away still, will probably even take over and replace browsers and our whole experience. But I think it's all about connecting everything, letting everybody talk to each other, and making this experience useful, really useful, not only for companies trying to earn money, but for everyone to participate. And this also includes people with disabilities. They are a huge part of Web 3.0 because we still have so much to do regarding accessibility and giving those people the chance to participate like everyone else. And I think this is where we need to go towards to. And this is, I think, the goal that we will hopefully reach within the next 5 to 10 years.
Thank you so much. I know something about semantic web, but maybe it was even older. So this is not something super new, because I've worked, I think, I had a professor at the University of Artificial Intelligence, which really loved this, like some years ago. So I was introduced into these concepts. Of course, maybe what will happen is that we will be connected maybe in a stronger way. So I think, this will be, so maybe on the quality of the connection. So, and of course the number, because I've heard some statistics like that maybe we are like just half of the people on Earth, they have internet connection. So people, and of course there will be like countries, I think that like India, other countries, maybe they will explode next year. I don't know if this is updated because this changed every month. So this would be already updated, this information. This is what I read some months ago. So
no, but I think that might as well be very true, because we still have a long way to go. Because there are people who still don't have reliable access to the internet. And this is also a problem that definitely needs to be solved. And after that, we can actually focus on getting the semantic web to work at all, because it doesn't help if only half of the world's population can profit from a system.
This is not what the internet was invented. The reason. This should be a resource accessible to really everyone. Of course, we know that maybe there are people who have maybe also other problems, like even food and water. But I think it should be a resource which should be really accessible for everyone. This could also open up other possibilities for them, of course, because this could also be very good for them. I wish this. Honestly, Simon, you're still there. Perfect. Basic human rights. It could sound strange because, of course, you don't need actually interconnection to live, but maybe you can maybe improve a lot the quality of your life. If, of course, there are other needing for a human being, but after that, I think this needing is raising. I think importance, because. Maybe it's not that hard to provide that. I think there are some companies also working on this, like to provide the internet like to everyone. Google also, Starlink, maybe some technologies like that. So we will see. And if you have a question for Oliver, you can just drop this in the chat, and I will make them. I think we will have him for another half an hour or so. So be fast, because we have not unlimited time, sadly. So we need to, do that. Come on. So we need, In the meanwhile, Oliver, let's talk a little bit about content creation, because I see that you are supernatural in front of a camera. I like also the way you speak, how you express yourself, your way of communication.
Thank you.
But have you ever done some video? Also, you like more the text format? Or not? Are you planning to do this?
Actually, this is the first live stream I'm ever part of. But I had many chances to practice, and I'm definitely not perfect how to speak on camera, because I've always been pretty involved in teaching at work.
Nice.
So doing workshops, teaching other developers about new technologies and anything. And it's also part of my current job, because as a software architect, I'm not only writing code. I'm more some kind of tech lead at my current company. And this also involves evaluating new technologies and seeing whether they bring the business forward and also are something for our project. So yeah, I've always had to basically give workshops and teach people. So I have at least some camera experience, but I'm pretty sure I can improve a lot.
Yeah. So what the hell is your excuse? I'm here to listen to that, because I think it's important. Yeah, if to share your experience, don't feel forced, but that will
yeah. Sessions.
Let's see. Hey, nearby. What do you think about developer advocacy?
Best thing ever to happen to both developers. No, to developers, companies, and customers. I think whoever, and I have no clue who it was, because I haven't looked up the history of developer advocacy yet, but whoever came up with this is a pretty fucking genius. Sorry to say this word, but
no.
Someone finally managed to understand that if you provide a product that is mainly aimed at developers, or at least at people who somehow have to use your product in a technical way, that it's the best thing to actually let developers talk to them. Pretty genius. That's it. And I think it's an awesome chance for, and we see this on Twitter, because I see so many familiar faces from Twitter here. We can just see this, that people start gaining followers, providing content, and they can actually find a job that suits them perfectly well, because this is what they do the whole day, providing content, writing blog articles, making videos, and whatever it is, all types of content creation. And combining this together with a day job is just awesome. So yeah, I love it. And if I had the chance ever, and I got a good offer, I definitely take such a position, because it's absolutely what I do, what I want to do at some point.
Great. I'm waiting for that. Yeah, yeah, of course. Chris nearby, of course. Yeah, that's great. For example, I don't think that I ever done I've never done this role. Maybe something just a little bit similar, maybe just for a company, but it's good. It will be interesting also for me, to do something like that. We will see.
Yeah.
We will see in the future. Yeah. So, Oliver, would you like to talk about the experience at FEEDHIVE? But just because I think we will work together, maybe just. I'd like maybe to understand maybe how did you know Simon? Just my personal curiosity.
Yeah.
But this is just out of my curiosity. Yeah.
I think, we talked about this before the live stream started. The funny thing with Twitter is you get to know people, and somehow people show up on your radar and you follow them, and at some point you get a follow back, but not much happens. You engage a little, you like each other's tweets and such, and then you get to talk perhaps from time to time. But yeah, I think at some point Simon actually asked me if I wanted, as he did with many others, to basically take part in testing FEEDHIVE in the beginning. And I, as many others, gave a lot of feedback, but I think I already also sent him a lot of code, because I had so many ideas, and said, okay, let me quickly flesh it out. Okay, this should be somehow running. Perhaps you want to make it better, and here it is. And nice. This is an awesome idea, perhaps. And he said, wow, okay, thank you very much. This will definitely somehow do. And and at some point, he asked me whether I'd love to work with FEEDHIVE part-time as a freelancer. And I would have been stupid if I had said no, because I love Simon and what he does. And I also love and admire all the other, well, basically content creators that currently work on FEEDHIVE. And so, yeah, I couldn't say no. And since then, I'm, well, doing my best to write code. And
perfect.
It's been an awesome experience.
Perfect. They say that Simon, he want to hire the whole tech community on Twitter. I wish him. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We are starting to get some questions. What actually a JavaScript advocate do? How would that differ with architect position? Can you clarify this doubt between advocate and architect? I don't know if, yeah.
Okay, I think you have to be careful here because titles are not standardized, first of all. So a software or solution or whatever architect in one company might do something completely different than in another. Germany is a pretty traditional market, so usually if you're a software architect, you are more into designing solutions, which means you have a problem at hand and you try to find a fitting software architecture, which involves, we'll use microservices, whatever, we'll use REST or GraphQL as our APIs, and which services do we need. And this goes as far as actually choosing the deployment and saying, okay, we'll go with AWS Lambda, or no, we'll use Docker containers and Kubernetes, hosted on AWS with ECS or whatever it is. So many abbreviations, sorry for that. This is what a classical software architect does, and is one part of what software engineers usually do. So this is the design part. Advocates usually try to evangelize or to advocate for a certain thing, like for a company. Let's take an example. You're a developer advocate for a company that provides an authentication software. So what your role then is to get other developers hooked on, hey, we have super awesome APIs, we have those client libraries and you can work with them, and hey, here are 11 tutorials and 5 videos on how you can use it and what awesome things you can do with it. So advocates are more geared towards marketing, but in a positive sense of actually helping other developers while staying on track and developing themselves.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they both can coexist in the same company, of course. They are totally two different roles.
Yeah.
The company which has the best architect and the best advocate, yeah, it will be known soon, I think. Nearby, another question. I've been coding since last 4 years professionally. I'll be starting my career from next year. Should I start with a developer role or an advocacy role? What do you think about this?
That's an interesting question, because I think many aspiring developers or developers who are about to get into the industry ask themselves a similar question with perhaps different roles. And seriously, if you're, and I know you nearby, so if I were to suggest you something, it would definitely be try to aim for an advocacy role, because you're a content creator already. And I can, from my experience, tell you that it's sometimes pretty difficult if you live 2 lives. Because if you do something completely different at work and you use your free time to do something else that's also related to development, sadness rises. And this is only my personal experience. I sometimes wish I could do the things I love to do in my free time at work. So yeah, I'd suggest you try to get that advocacy role and just try to negotiate with the company, because, well, if they really ask for development experience, I'd ask them why and what experience do you want me to have for this role that I can't provide you from actually creating content since at least 1 year, if not longer, because this is how long I know you.
Yeah, I totally agree with this. And you said something so true. This is one of the reasons why I quit my job, because I had like to work 8 hours and then creating content, creating YouTube videos. And I like to work a lot, but I reach out a limit when I decided to like mix them up just a little bit. Now I'm working on FEEDHIVE, other clients, but I can also talk about what I'm doing there. In the European Space Agency, they are really great company, but you can't like talk about what you do there. All GitHub repositories are private. If you want to change something, you need some sign of someone really important. If you want to change the npm version, you need like a sign. So after a while, it gets a little bit annoying, to be honest. Yeah, and also I think that if you're already thinking about advocacy, that could be an experience. Yeah, sometimes maybe it's better to try something that is not that common to stand out. So to do something, maybe some people, they are just studying for being just developers. You could stand out by trying to do something different.
Yeah.
So this also is my suggestion. If you have the opportunity, of course. Yeah. Online shopping Lutz is thanking you.
Yeah, but I also think that Nearby brought something pretty important up that other developers or aspiring developers also struggle with. I personally think companies need to finally stop only accepting experience you made while being paid as the only thing acceptable. And this is just, I don't like this. It just puts all the other development and efforts you put into something in a completely different light. And it's basically devaluing all this, which is not nice of them, and which is actually pretty shit, to be honest. If you manage to build a portfolio of 1 year, for example, in Nearby's case, of tweets, of valuable tweets that help other people achieve something, or you have a GitHub repository and your personal portfolio with 3, 4, 5, or whatever the number is, working projects, then that's experience. And it doesn't matter whether you're paid for it or not. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I also agree with this. Sometimes, when maybe some companies, maybe they just focus on, I don't know, like your technical skills, which of course they are important. We are not saying that they are not important.
Yeah.
But when you need to work in a group, and I say this because I come from the sport world, so for me, the team is everything for me. I always think like being in a team. Honestly, I really feel very good in the FEEDHIVE team. For me, the team is everything. It's what I love. It's what I love. It's what I worked. I always think like a team and not just a single person. So if you want to create a big project, you need a big team. So we should focus more. This is what I should do, for example. Of course, it's up to you if that person has a company to hire whatever you want, but after you have some communication problems inside your team, maybe you should not be angry with them, but you should question yourself if you have hired the people right to do the job, of course, because we can also excel in some skills, but the technical skill is something that you can learn, basically, if you really want to.
Absolutely.
And also the moral is important, because let's say that after, of course, we say that we love coding, of course, but after a while, of course, it's not a super exciting activity like singing, let's say. So in this case, it's even more important to focus on the moral of the team, like to find some ways. It should be the most as interesting as it could be, of course.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Chris, I don't know what you're talking about here. Really, I don't know what. Let's see. We have another question. Online shopping. I'm actually interested to write blogs, but hesitating to publish them. And sometimes I feel that if anyone tries to comment in a bad way on blog and it might demotivate kind of. Any tips to start? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, just do it. Seriously. I think you can read this all over Twitter, but I'll happily repeat this over and over again. If you let haters actually stop you from pursuing anything you want to do, you've already failed. Just do it. Your first blog post perhaps won't be good, but it will be good for you because you started. And the only way you can actually become better at anything is to practice. And the best thing for practice is to not only write this post and then let it rot somewhere on a disk, but to put it out and just ignore the people because they will come nevertheless. And the bigger you are and the more people you have who look up to you or who follow you or whatever, the more people will try to come at you and call you out for anything you said or even try to make fun of your writing or whatever. But in the end, it doesn't matter because it's you. You'll find your community, and the people who try to make you down are the minority, but sadly often the vocal majority. So you'll hear them more than the people who actually say, hey, I like this.
Yeah.
So just do it, please. Just do it.
Yeah, thank you. I can add this. I think that if you understand how much effort there is behind writing an article, behind writing a video, behind training. I always do this analogy with Cristiano Ronaldo. He will never make fun of a guy who wants to play football because he knows which is the struggle to start. He knows that pretty well. If you are a champion, you will never criticize someone else because you know how much effort you put into that. So, of course, I'm not a champion. I'm not doing analogies, but I would never say this to someone. Maybe if he's a friend, I would send him a message, direct message to say, okay, you have made this typo. You have made this, you said this wrong. I remember that, let me say this. I remember that once in one of my articles, I wrote instead of saying as, I wrote ASS in the article. So I got this message this was a typo that I corrected, but that was a message, of course. That was a bad typo, maybe one of my worst typos. So yeah, surround maybe yourself with friends, and there's no really point especially if you're doing this for free. If you're doing something for free, if you don't like, you can leave. You can do something better with your time, I think. This is my opinion. So do that. It's also, I like the idea that you say that this is for you. So if you do something for yourself, I wrote my article for myself. It's more about the switch of mindset of becoming a content creator than the article itself. It's just like you want to try something new to see if you like that. Maybe if you like it, maybe you don't. But at least you should try because if you are asking for this, it means that you have this idea. So you should put at least a couple of articles to see. Sometimes, for example, I started writing articles on Unity 3D because in that period I liked C#. Now I've switched my topic, but you can always switch topic if you want. But if you never get started, it will be hard for you. Simon is still in chat with orange hearts. Always worried about people criticizing my writing. Wish they have. I also have another story, little small story. There is one guy from India that I had as a guest. His name is Sarthak. He has a YouTube channel with almost 100,000 of subscribers on YouTube. The first video that he published, the first comment was like that mean long comment. The first one he got. So but he never stopped. And now he's close to the silver button. I admire him, but this is a story that I like to share because if you don't stop, you can really go far. It has been a little bit unlucky, to be honest, but do that. Maybe even something super small could work. Even just 20. Something that you have just learned. It's totally fine. You re-elaborate that, and I'm sure almost 100% that you will go back on that article to check that maybe after 6 months you say, oh, this article is great, it's perfect for me because you wrote that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think that we don't have much more time. So if you want to make a question,
Hey, Rob.
there you go. You are late to the party, Raf. Yeah. Yeah. So, Oliver, just maybe last question, maybe for me. What about this year? Do you have other further plans, or what have you accomplished in this year, 2021? How has been for you for now?
What shall I say? I think I had a pretty awesome year because what I started as an experiment last year by simply stating to myself, okay, let's just try creating content on Twitter, actually evolved into finding a lot of friends. And this is, I think, my biggest achievement. Because I got to know so many people, met so many awesome people I'd love to meet in real life at some point. And
we will work on this. Don't worry.
We will. I expect it. So yeah, I think that's really my biggest achievement because you can get a new job pretty easily. You can switch towns pretty easily, but finding people with the same mindset that you have sometimes pretty difficult. And so yeah, I'm just glad for this, and many of those people are just right here right now. So yeah, thank you to all you guys because you definitely made my year, and I think you definitely will.
Yeah, thank you, Oliver. I love what you said. Maybe one day we will meet, but it's. I like what you said that we are a great community, as you said before.
Yeah.
And communities are made of people. So code is just something that we do, but communities, what we are doing, what I'm also trying to do in each of these long series. Now it's a kind of long series to show that we are people, that we have other interests, that we have some strange stories. Thank you, Oliver, for sharing this with us, because this is one of what I'm trying to do here, and also to laugh a little bit, to know you a little bit more. So this is perfect, and we never met before, so this is perfect because we did this publicly, like you said. So this for now, this is what we can do. When this virus will end, we will see. We will fix this bug of not knowing each other. Yeah, Alex, say there.
Thank you, Alex.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So if you have some last question, I think tell me, Oliver, when you have to go. But so I thank you for everything you said. I'd love to collaborate with you. Also, congratulations for all your threads about blockchain that I follow. Thank you for them. They are great. I'm a bit rusty with blockchain, but I'd love to do something practical with that. So if you want to collaborate with something about that, please hit me up, because I'm honestly interested into this topic.
Absolutely.
Really. Yeah, Simon. Yeah. This is great. Super emotional. Thank you, Simon. Yeah, thank you. Honestly, let me say this: that I was really skeptic about the social media some years ago. It's something that you go like doom scrolling, you waste your time. I totally changed my mind about that, and this is why, because I found really super amazing people. So yeah. So this is something that really maybe you can't believe this in the beginning, because you need to test this out. You need to find people, and we know Twitter is a mess. A lot of posts every time, but among them there are a lot of great developers and people. Of course, first of all, people.
Yeah. I think especially the tech niche is it's difficult. Because it's so difficult to see from the outside. Because let me be honest, my experience with social media before was basically okay, you have Instagram installed, and well, what's promoted there, it's not tech content, it's beautiful women, guys and families and whatever, and natures, but, well, not a lot of tech content. And Twitter is the same, because at the time, I think we all started, well, when was Twitter in the news? I guess when Trump tweeted something, or some stars, but you just have to dive into it to actually see what it offers, because we are simply, we're not all introverts, but we are just not that publicly visible from the outside. So it's difficult to find in, but when you're in, I think you love the tech space on social media.
Yeah, I like what you said, Oliver. I think it all depends on how do you use social media. So if you want to use them to watch some pictures of dogs, of kittens, there is nothing wrong with that. But you can also use Twitter to find jobs. I think we are here, we are the living proof of this now. So you can use this to find a job, to find a new relations with people. So this is totally possible. If we made this, trust is, I'm not really, I was still telling my story in real life today. Some people, they didn't believe this, that I started almost from zero, 1 year and a half ago. So this is totally possible. Yeah. Yes, I was there. Yeah. Great picture. Yeah. Oliver, I hope that this will be just the first episode of me talking with you. I hope to do this something soon. It has been a really super amazing episode. So yeah. Also, thank you for your advices, because I also do this kind of interviews, of course, to talk with you, but also if someone want to show in chat this online shopping Lutz has asked for something. So I think this is the best place also to ask questions. Sometimes maybe when especially when you have a lot of followers, it's hard to reply to everyone if you get random questions. So this is the best place instead to join this, make a question. I try to read them all. So well done, online shopping. Yeah, perfect. That's amazing, Oliver. I wish you best luck. And first of all, have a great weekend. Let's keep in touch, but I'm pretty sure about this, that we'll keep in touch. So I'm not scared this time. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to talking to you again soon. Awesome experience. Love to do this more often.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. And I've left the code of FEEDHIVE in description, and also the link of Twitter of Oliver inside the description. So follow him. You will never regret. Really an amazing developer, an amazing tech account, but also, as you can see, it's also super friendly. So I don't know what are you waiting for. So go follow him. This will make your day. Yeah, perfect.
DM's always open.
Yeah, just let me answer to Alain. I had Simon like on the 4th episode, so I think it's time to episode 2. So maybe someone doesn't know this. He has been one of my first
reunion.
Yeah. We need to do this. Okay, we're done for today. Sadly, I'm sad, but okay, perfect. Bye bye, everyone.
Yeah, everyone. Have a nice weekend.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.